The top 10 questions on photosynthesis. Where in the plant cell does photosynthesis take place? Photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplast of the plant cell. Why is the first stage known as the light-dependent stage? Well, the first stage is all about trapping the sun's energy, and this energy is going to fuel the reactions of the dark stage, so the second stage. So if there's no light, then there's no light stage, then there's no photosynthesis. What is meant by photolysis of water? It's using the photons of light or the sun's energy, the light energy, to split water molecules. List the products formed when water molecules are split. So what are the products of photolysis of water? The first is electrons. And remember, those electrons produced in photolysis of water are going to replace those electrons lost by chlorophyll. The second product of photolysis of water are protons, otherwise known as hydrogen ions. These protons or hydrogen ions will go into a proton pool. Eventually those protons are going to combine or be picked up by NADP- to form NADPH. The final product of photolysis of water is oxygen. That oxygen is going to be used in cellular respiration, or it will be released into the atmosphere and it exits the plant through the stomata. List the 4 factors necessary for photosynthesis. The first is light. The second is chlorophyll, that pigment molecule. The third is water. And the fourth is that greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide. List the products of the light stage, so what's formed at the end of the light stage? ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the immediate source of energy for all cellular activities. The second product is NADPH. Remember that NADPH is transferring those 2 high energy electrons and that proton to the reactions of the dark stage. Don't forget to mention that oxygen was also produced in the light stage. It was produced during photolysis of water, so it's a byproduct really. What is the role of NADP in photosynthesis? We usually encounter NADP as NADP+, the oxidized version of the molecule. It's a carrier molecule. It traps and transfers high energy electrons or energized electrons and protons, which are hydrogen ions, 1 per molecule, and it transfers those electrons and the proton to the dark stage reactions. The electrons and the proton are transferred to the reactions of the dark stage. Here they combine with carbon dioxide to form that carbohydrate, glucose. Please make sure you mention that when the electrons and the proton are transferred, that NADPH reverts back to being NADP+, and that molecule is all ready to trap and transfer some more electrons and protons. What is the role of ATP in photosynthesis? ATP, otherwise known as adenosine triphosphate, provides the energy needed to power the reactions of the dark stage. And remember, the dark stage is otherwise known as the Calvin cycle. ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is an immediate source of energy for all cellular activities, and most of the energy is contained in that last bond, that high energy bond connecting the last phosphate. So the energy from ATP is released when that bond is broken, and ATP reverts back to being adenosine diphosphate, and there's that phosphate group on its own. Are the reactions of the light stage enzyme controlled? No, they're not. They take place too quickly to be enzyme controlled. But the reactions of the dark stage are enzyme controlled, so everything that affects the rate of enzyme reactions, pH, temperature, all of that will affect the reactions of the dark stage. Is light needed for the dark stage reactions? No, light is not needed, but the products of the light stage, those things that were made in the light stage, are essential, and without them there is no dark stage reactions. You need NADPH because it's transferring the electrons and the protons that are going to combine with carbon dioxide. You need ATP, it's the immediate source of energy. It's going to fuel that combining of the electrons and the protons and the carbon dioxide to form glucose. That was the photosynthesis top 10 questions. Now, if this is news to you or you're hearing the answers to these questions for the first time, you need to go back and start photosynthesis using your textbook. Best of luck.